Arise, minions, and welcome to unMadeGaming. We are here for the first episode of Alien RPG, our new campaign called Awakening. Here we have a star-studded cast. As always, if you guys like what we do here and you want to support the channel, the link for our Patreon is down below. That's the best way to do so. Also, join us in the Discord, be a part of the conversation, talk about this game, theory craft, all that fun things. And in the bottom right-hand corner, you will see already started for us is the corruption bar. That bar serves two purposes. One is when that bar fills, Dot gets to do whatever the hell she wants to us, which is terrifying. And two, every single dollar that goes into filling that bar goes back to these wonderful faces you see here before you. That being said, I will turn things over to our game mother to kill us in space. Dot?
First off, you all must call me game mother. Chat included from this point forward, because what a power trip. What a power trip. So I'm really excited to be here. You all know I always start out a campaign by simply saying, thanks for giving me your time, both my cast and chat. And I always talk a little bit about why. Because why this game? Because it is the ultimate nightmare, in my opinion, of the human existence, both in space and in the hubris that we create for ourselves as humans. And without giving too much lore away, because some of you may not be deep lore junkies of the Aliens franchise, I just have to say I am so excited to bring a little terror and horror to our October. I dyed my hair orange, y'all. I wore black for you today as a good game mother.
Was it for us?
No, it was really for me. Shut up, Mike. I'm trying to make him feel good. Okay? I'm just kidding. But
I'm
yes, it was also for you. It was for October is what I'm trying to say, Mike. It was for October. And I am just really excited to be here to bring just a little bit of the love that I have for this franchise to both this channel and to your screens. Hopefully from the sterile comfort of your home. So, our game is going to start tonight in the year 2190. This is roughly 10 years after the events of the third Aliens film, for those of you that are in desperate need of a timeline. Rumors across all of the galaxies and systems are ever changing and growing in that there is life out there other than humans. Horrible, biological, as well as animalistic and monstrous xenomorphs. But is it true? Nobody really knows. Because most people that do don't really come back. Those that talk about having experienced ones are usually blacklisted. So, life on the frontier, which is where we're going to find our intrepid crew, is harsh and rigorous, and lives on a very regimented schedule. Our camera pans in on a white planet, frozen. Even from space, there's no doubt that it is of the harshest environment. And the camera comes out of orbit through the atmosphere of howling winds and snow, down a frozen tundra of spiky ice plains and rigid ground, and crushes below a very thick 3-foot layer of ice into frozen water. And there is an engineering marvel of Weyland-Yutani, a mining colony beneath the deep, frozen waste of this planet. It is made up of 2 sections: the actual scientific research and housing of the 75 people that resided here, and the mining apparatus itself, a large structure that burrows deep into the core of this planet. From it is mined a very, very rare and powerful radioactive material. And as we continue through this cold water into these sterile halls of a very well-funded mining colony, we go even deeper into the air vents. There we hear the sound of clanking and clattering. Almost too scared the camera is to round a corner, but instead of seeing a monster, we see a small form. A kid. Crawling at a pretty good pace. What does Vince look like crawling through the air ducts of this mining colony?
Vince is this lanky boy, maybe only 11 years old, who is currently guiding his way through this air vent that he fits perfectly into, probably one of the only ones on this colony that could. He's lighting his way with a old Zippo lighter, and he's just crawling his way through this vent. He wears kind of a small, maybe hand-me-down mining colony jumpsuit, and he's just on his mission. He's doing his stuff.
And
On
what
his
is
back,
his mission?
well, he some stuff happened with his parents
You're,
before. Should I go into this
you're
now?
welcome. You're welcome to.
So Vince's parents were engineers and scientists on this mining colony, and as Dot mentioned, our game mother. Sorry, mentioned.
Just kidding. You don't have to call me the game mother. I kid.
There is mining radioactive materials. There are obviously complex and moving parts and things that happen on this colony. And both of Vince's parents were working in basically the reactor that the mining colony was employing and using. And about, was it a week ago when this accident happened? His
2 weeks.
parents,
It's been
2 weeks.
2 weeks since the great accident.
The great accident, as it's been
That's
dubbed.
what we're going to call it because I don't have any better words right now.
Vince's parents were trapped in the reactor, and it apparently was bolted shut. And he's on the hunt for his parents, first and foremost, but he also is a bit curious as to what exactly happened down there. It's not often that a kid his age really gets an opportunity for some excitement, but also his parents are missing and possibly dead. So that's a good, I think, a good impetus.
Yeah, for this, and
yeah,
and we see it. Your little face lit up by a Zippo lighter. Your breath kind of blowing it forward as it guides you, and you're crawling, and we can hear you in the air vents, and you're looking for your parents out of small grates and lined windows, and you get to the point where you can't go any farther. You've taken the air vents all the way across the bridge to the like mining facility itself, the reactor, and you can see it's bolted shut, everything lead lined to keep the radiation in. But here the lighting is different. It overtakes this little lighter that lights your face, the red lights that spin and pop and flash. This is a caution zone, and out of a little slat in an air vent, you can see that there are two men standing there guarding this entrance. You've searched this place high and low, and this is as far as you've ever been able to get for the last 2 weeks, but there's still been no sign of your parents. These two men eventually walk off, and you hear the sound of heavy footsteps, I'm gonna guess, coming your way. It seems that there is some maintenance that needs to be done in this area, and you see a welcoming figure, one that is less intimidating and doesn't carry guns. Jake, of course, the roughneck. And maybe because you were leaning against the grate, it pops open, and we see Vince kind of tumble out at the foot of Jake, who is here to fix a minor issue. What does Jake look like, Bub?
Jake is probably in his, I would say, early 40s, likely very tired, semi-exhausted eyes. He's got that look of not really wanting to do his job, but not really having too many other people that are capable of doing it or want to do it for that matter. His eyes are a little sunk in. Hands are busted and bruised, covered in grease, probably a couple of scars, maybe some fresh wounds from turning tools. He's wearing an orange vest, and he makes sure that his name tag is prominently displayed, even though he's not entirely sure why. He just minds his business most of the time. Seeing Vince tumble out, probably not going to say a lot, as much as he just kind of nods to him. grabs the grate and pushes it back into the wall and slaps it a couple of times with the wrench. You kid, you fell out of the wall there.
Yeah, I did. And you see in this little tiny backpack, again, a hand-me-down or maybe a relic from another colony, maybe even going back to Earth. He has a super old worn backpack, and out of it, as he fell, has fallen this radio-controlled RC car. And he kind of grabs it and stuffs it back into his backpack. Um, well, hey, if I was gonna fall on anyone, it would be you.
What did you say? Name was the kid? What?
Vince. You don't
Vince.
remember? I guess I've seen you a bit more than you've seen me, but yeah. What's going on with this stuff?
So some things went down. So some little reactor. It popped.
Huh.
And I didn't get all the details. I just know that they wanted me to come down and work on some things.
Are you gonna open it?
Well, I mean, I guess I gotta, right?
Okay, I'll stay next to you then.
Okay.
Then you should knowing that he's not really supposed to be there, I immediately hand him my tools. You carry this. We'll just say that
What does this do?
don't worry about it. Hard learning. That's what we go through here. So just carry this, and if anybody asks, you're my helper today. Vince. Yeah, Vince.
Cool. Jake.
Yeah.
What is okay.
Jake. Yeah.
You two kind of, there's a door. There's like an airlock door that has been almost put in place. It's like a self-sealing door that is extra to keep the radiation in, because you can see just on the other side the actual door that goes into kind of the reactor facility itself. And you're simply here to fix some broken things from the explosion. You both have to suit up in a radioactive suit. Which is funny because it's far too large for Vince, as both of you kind of put this suit on. And dragging this bag in, and you both, as you go into the other side, and the air here is a little bit denser and it's stale. Nobody's really opened this door in probably quite a few days. And you can see down the hallway where Jake came from, there are the two men with the guns, the soldiers that have been guarding this. And they just simply watch as, Jake, you're going to need to fix this. It's a minor issue. It seems to be electrical, probably. So I'm going to say this is probably Comtech, if you've got it, or if you're using a piece of heavy machinery, which I don't think you are.
I don't think so.
I think this is probably Comtech.
Okay.
We'll just get a quick Comtech roll, and then we'll explain
Sure.
to everybody how awesome it is to roll in this game and how that works.
Now, for all intents and purposes, it's going to be a Comtech, and it's going to ask me for a primary, which is wits to follow, correct?
Correct. Yep.
Is there any way that Vince can help him?
Sure. What do you think Vince is doing to help
Vince
him?
runs up with whatever this weird meta wrench or whatever he's carrying. He's like, hey, do you need me to hold something? I can
Yeah, actually, it's not a bad idea. Why don't you hey kid, hang on this right here. Hold this, put all your weight into it and hold on to this.
Oh, this extremely sharp filament? Okay.
Yeah,
I can
that
do
one.
that.
Just don't put it near your eyes.
So,
Okay.
You could we'll just take an extra die to this pool of your wits Comtech, because, Jake is our handyman. Yeah. All right, so we see that 5 die were rolled. It is a dice pool, for those of you that are familiar with that. In this case, nothing was rolled, because on a 6-sided die, this was either a 2 through a 5, meaning it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. So, you kind of get in there and you see that it's not just, Jake, the electrical wiring here. And it's not really your fault that you can't fix it. This is heavily damaged. If they want to get in this door, they're going to either have to completely redo the electrical, which is difficult since some of it's on the other side, or they're going to have to actually cut this door open.
Oh man,
to get
this
into the reactor.
This is foobar. It's we can't get in through this shit.
What?
Sorry, kid. It's messed up. All right, this is kind of beyond my pay grade. I mean, I can get in. I glance back to the guards. I can get in. You want to fix that bed?
Like, you just gotta let me get in some bigger tools.
The guards kind of shrug their shoulders, and you see him maybe reach for a radio and like message somebody to see maybe what the deal is. Are you gonna use like a torch to cut through this lead lined like thick door?
Let's see what I have access to. I have a maintenance jack. Maintenance jack is a fairly interesting tool. I think I actually saved this. That is, believe it or not, the one thing I didn't save on my information. But the maintenance jack
Okay.
is considered heavy machinery. It grants me a +1 on any maintenance to like opening devices.
Opening. Okay, perfect. So then let's do that. Let's get a heavy machinery roll from you and add the +1 for using this. And let's see if you can take your time to get it open. And since we have received, in fact, 6 corruption bars since we have started alone, I will, yes, that is a cumulative 6. We will start cashing in on those here momentarily. So let's start with this roll from Jake.
You guys remember that time that she said, "You guys won't fight a xenomorph in episode 1. Don't worry."
This is what I said in session 0. It's going to be fine.
So they didn't say anything. I guess the liability's off the table. All right, here we go.
So here's how this works. We did get some successes on this one, as chat was just mentioning. 3, in fact, those are hits on the die. But you only need 1 hit to successfully do what you wanted to, which in this case is to open this door. The 2 extra grant you additional things. In this case, I'm going to say you do what you needed to, and you do it very well. Vince, you watched Jake just like crack and pry with this machine, pry it open. It is a quite a feat of strength. Even the soldiers watch with a little bit of like, man, this is why they actually hired him. And the door that has been sealed solid for 2 weeks lets out.
That wasn't so bad, was it? See? I even put your guns down, guys. It's fine. It's just a door.
The men put down their guns and walk over to you, and maybe even one of them uses the tip of the gun to like creak the door open. And as you do, you can see it. There are bodies lied out everywhere of scientists. You lost about 12 in the accident. You see 4 here on this level. And you can see that the drill itself runs down the center of a rather large, like cylindrical reactor. The machine itself is like making noise, but not the correct noise. Jake, you're not an engineer necessarily, but you would know that it's not supposed to be making that kind of grinding sound, that something is wrong. You can see and where the explosion happened, the char marks and things like that. And one of the soldiers says, "What is that?" And he turns with a gun and points, and you can see that there is a person that is kind of like crawling and pushing themselves up and out of the center of the reactor. And they go, wait, help me. The radiation has definitely affected their skin. They have a jaundice tone to them. They look very, very emaciated.
Now, hold on, Vince.
So as soon as the door opened and Vince sees bodies, there's the shock of seeing bodies, but he's immediately looking for anyone that looks like his parents.
You go over and check the 4 bodies. They are not your parents. These seem to be the engineers. And well, you may not know that much, but you would know this to be the 4 engineers that were sent down here, not the science team.
Is the person crawling and crying to us?
Get back here. Come on.
What is going on as this person is crawling? Are they kind of like screaming and their bodies like emaciated?
Yeah, you can see that they have been bleeding. This is just another one of the team. Possibly, they're in a jumpsuit. So you're gonna guess this is the team that actually, like the mechanics team, the engineering team that worked here. Not that wasn't sent down. That's here all the time. And deep down into the core. They seem to have crawled their way out. And as they come up and over kind of this edge onto a metal floor, they reach for another hand, and a second person, thanks to a corruption bar, is pulled up and over the side. Both of them are on their way to death. And they're like, please help us. You can see the soldiers have guns pointed at them, like, don't move, don't move. One of them radios, we need the doctor and we need her now.
Vince is they're coming out of some sort of like vent or passageway?
It's like think about it like you're standing on a walk path, a circular walk path. The center is hollow. It goes all the way down to the reactor. So they're kind of crawling up and over off a piece of scaffolding, or maybe like a metal ladder that's there. You know, like on a roller coaster has a metal ladders like get to places when something's broken. They're crawling out of the core, it seems, because
So
it looks to
Vince
be that the elevator is broken.
Vince shouts down below, "Mom, Dad!" and then talks to the people that are crawling up without even really paying attention to their condition, saying, "Where are my parents? Where are they?"
Oh,
Shit,
they
kid, you should probably take a couple of steps back, man. Like those guys are probably so ratted up they could power the generator themselves. You should just 2 weeks of straight. Look, just what are your parents' names?
As Zach awkwardly remembers his parents' names. Hold on just a moment.
It was like Janice or Jennifer.
It was
Jay?
Virginia and James.
Virginia and James. There we go. I was close.
Yes.
I was kind of close.
Yeah, you're very close.
One of the soldier turns to you, Jake, and says, "Get that kid out of here! And nobody's picking up the radio. Go get the doctor."
Vince
just
is
sort
still
of shakes his head and says,
Come on, kid. Come on. Like, this is why bullets will start flying if you don't start listening.
Vince is full on ignoring you, still looking down. Now he's looking for a way, like a ladder, if he can start crawling down into this radiator.
I would
reactor.
say, yeah, at this point, the soldier will grab you and say, "We can't look for anybody right now." He says, "Look at them. These people are like, like barely breathing. They've had 2 weeks of extreme radiation."
Jake will move up. Hey, take your fucking hands off him. He's just a kid, all right? Look.
The soldier goes, "I didn't mean any harm. It's dangerous down there."
Come on, Vince. Let's look. Tell me more.
My parents are down there.
I'll see where they are, and I'll see if I can get like a schematic or a print or something, so I can try to find out where they at.
Fine.
Come on, well, we can find them. Just don't sweat it.
Vince kind of like shakes you off and storms out.
Aw.
Jake will be mean mugging the guards like, "You fucking dick."
Soldier's like, "What?" And one of them leans down and, like, they're in suits too. They try not to like touch them or anything. One of them passes out. One of the people, like, as they kind of crawl out of the hole, and the other one is holding them. They seem to maybe know each other. And the camera cuts to what I imagine are like squeaky shoes, tinnies of Vince, and the heavy boots of Jake. Down the corridor of this very sterile mining colony as you cross from the reactor across the little bridge over to where the science facility and the med clinic are. And as we come up on the med clinic, we can see that nice glass or plexi window that looks in. And you can see the doctor already has a few people there. People that she's been treating since the accident 2 weeks prior. Those that weren't trapped on the opposite side of the door that needed treatment. And you're met with the sounds of beeping and whirling machines that are processing blood and the such. And there stands Dr. Evie. What does Evie look like?
She's kind of a nondescript person. She has some pretty generic tied back brown hair. She doesn't have glasses or anything that would make her look like a doctor, but she just is kind of in casual clothing. She's not really much about wearing lab coats or anything like that. She gets her hands dirty, but in a very procedural way. Everything is very tidy in the clinic. So as a result, she spends more time cleaning the environment around her than herself.
Yeah.
But she's very direct with the people there, constantly checking on the fluids and making sure everybody's intact. But she herself does not look as pristine as her clinic does.
Yeah. And in walk, Vince, do you go to the medic station as well? Or do you go with Jake, or do you depart?
Vince kind of just at first was just walking off and dejected, and then realizes that if he's really going to get anywhere with what's going on, he's not the one who unfortunately controls this world. So as he storms off angrily, kind of like pulling off of Jake, he kind of at some point turns around with his head down and waits for Jake to lead the way again and follows him.
And you follow in suit, and you see Jake enter first as he's there hopefully to deliver a message.
Oh, we'll walk on.
All right, and you head to medic.
Yeah.
Yep. And
Vince
Evie,
starts looking at different equipment while they talk.
yeah, it's all boop boop, and you see this kind of understated woman, Dr. Evie. I don't know how well you know her, but she is the head medic on board.
Does she have a last name? Does she just go by Dr. Eve?
Yeah, Dr. Eve.
Okay.
Or Dr. E. Some people will just
Okay.
straight Dr. E. Even though
All
her
right.
name's already really short.
Yeah.
She never corrects anybody.
Or just doctor.
At Doc. D.
Okay. Yeah. I'll
Whatever.
Nothing.
insert name.
Yeah.
Here.
She knows when people are talking to her. She doesn't care what
Right,
they say.
right.
Yeah.
Like a good caretaker.
She's
yeah.
the Santa Claus of doctors.
You probably get the rapping of knuckles on the door if you don't hear the sliding of it immediately.
Hey,
Hmm?
Doc, you busy?
Yep, come on in. Just working on some stuff here. What's going on?
You'd see that he's not expressively formal, but he'll kind of take off his hat and lean and point to the kid.
Kid's fine, but some of the guards down by the hull doors, they said they needed a doctor. But the doors open and there were.
Oh,
There
they
was some-
finally got it open. That's good.
Yeah.
My parents are still in there. They really need help. I haven't
Oh,
seen them.
So we've identified people inside?
kind of giving her the eyes of,
Yeah, people. Yeah,
Okay.
There
Yeah, let me
was-
just grab my kit.
you got some bags, like body bags,
Of course.
because there are 4 dead engineers. As soon as you go in,
4 dead that we know of. Okay. Yeah, I can make
And-
sure that the crew brings the bags.
there are at least 2 others. I didn't recognize them, but they are alive and they are looking rough.
Alive.
Yeah. I don't know if you
That's
have anything to
surprising.
counter radiation. It sounds
Not
like
after 2 weeks of exposure, but that's needless to say. Let's just go. And she kind of motions to the people that are helping in the clinic, and says, "Make sure you grab everything for the radiation, some body bags, some stretchers, and then off they go, I guess."
Few people grab the things, a couple stretchers. You tell them it's down at the reactor. They take off. Now, as the doctor on board, you know that usually there are people to report to, representatives of the sort and things like that. But you just so happen to have on board a specialist, a xenologist. Other than a specialist in his own ego, he is also a specialist in viruses and the specialization of like the spreading of such, and he's specifically here to research the radiation effect on people, to assure that it doesn't get out of control or people aren't like mutating and things like that. He was put here by Wayland Yutani. He is in fact one of 2 scientists left after the accident 2 weeks ago. He would desperately want to know about this incident, especially if there are 2 people alive.
Is his area on the way by, or is he somewhere else compared to
You
the
would have
clinic?
a comms of some kind. Like if you just wanted to radio
Oh.
him, you could, but you could also totally drop by. Mike, where does our professor keep his day-to-day activity?
It essentially looks like a janitorial closet. It is on the main platform of the colony, centrally located. He has somehow secured one of the only rooms that has like an outward kind of facing window, or at least that's what he'll tell you. He has. Yeah, that's it. You'd know it by the amount of trash outside, papers under the doors, an ornery sign that just says "Keep Out" that you're pretty sure he made himself.
She would stop by, I think. I don't think she likes to use the comms very, very often unless she has to.
Makes sense.
She does rip down the makeshift sign of "Keep Out" and drops it on the floor with the rest of the trash and says, "We need your help now.
What do you mean, need my help right now?
Talk while we're walking. Let's go."
I am in the middle of research. This is very important
Well,
stuff.
do you want to see it firsthand, or do you want to read it off of a piece of paper?
What do you mean? See what firsthand? What
They
is-
open the door, and
door-
there's radiation. So let's go.
Is it A door full of radiation. Oh, hold on. I need a Geiger counter. I need a notepad. Hold on. Just put the side back, for Christ's sake. Hold on. And he just begins like assembling a Ghostbuster pack of gear as he just comes out like okay, all right. So the door's open
Right. So there are 4 dead at the moment. So you can hopefully get blood samples from them.
Radiation out there.
Yes, and then there are 2 still alive.
Alive.
Yes.
After
time is of the essence.
It's been what, 4 days? That's a lot. It's
been
2 weeks. Oh, Jesus. Okay, hold on.
You check the clock. You tap your watch.
Hold on. That changes everything. Yeah. I gotta put this down. This is the other bag. Okay, let's go. Okay.
Might have 5 dead by the time we get there. Let's go.
Oh, I mean, dead or alive, it's all radiation to me.
At this point, because the facility is so large, you have been there's like down at the end of the hallway, just around from the corner, is like, it's almost like a golf cart, but it's like a travel vehicle that gets you from one side to another a lot faster. And there on it sits Jake and Vince, and the doctor and our professor bumble onto it. I imagine that even something drops behind, and the professor may even like pick it up and try to catch the tail end of this like golf cart as
this whole time, as from the moment they went to see the doctor and going then to the professor, Vince, instead of giving out outbursts or anything, has kind of internalized the grave quality of everything that's going on. And he's whatever area they go to, he's just been pacing and rapidly flicking the Zippo lighter over and over and over like a fidget spinner.
Yep.
And just kind of head down, not saying anything, just anxiously waiting to go.
Yep. And the sound of that like click, click, click is met by the sound of tires as it drives you across this very sterile floor all the way back down. And by the time you get there, you can see that the 2 soldiers have closed the door that was opened by Jake. They have jammed something through the like spinny handle to keep it from moving. And the 2 people that originally crawled out are now like out of the reactor proper and like laid out on the floor. One of them's having a hard time breathing. The other seems to be passed out as this cart pulls up, and you can see one of the soldiers is holding his gun very tight as he looks over his shoulder. Through the very small porthole that they have now barricaded once again are more bodies, and people are banging, please, please. Another 4 people, very radioactive, very much dying. The soldier looks at the doctor and says, I don't know if I should let him out, Doc. There's a lot of radioactivity.
Okay, well, we need to contain it first. Professor, would you like to evaluate the radiation situation at the moment? Please. And she's gonna kind of... Is the 2 people that got out, are they on this side or on the other side?
Yeah, they're on this side with you. They probably pulled those 2 and then more.
Oh, okay.
Like came out. Does that make sense? One of them's passed out, eyes closed, barely breathing.
Okay.
The other has definitely taken some kind of explosive damage. You can see like the ends of their hair singed, burn marks down their face. They're laying there breathing very heavy. Lots of like activity. You can see it on their skin, in their eyes. Their hair's falling out.
Okay. She's just gonna go triage and see, based on the one that's not looking like they're gonna be breathing for very long, she'll determine whether or not medical efforts are needed or if it's just kind of time. You are muted.
I'm muted. I double clicked on Zoom and then it made the box smaller. Go ahead and make a medical aid check. Okay. And then the scientist wanted to roll as well, yes?
So I think seeing what's going on, he takes off his backpack and begins to pull out things that looks like essentially a tarp, right? He's wearing, if you didn't know better, you might think like he might work with Jake. He's wearing a full jumpsuit. It looks probably at least as, like used as Jake's is, right? He has like kind of crazy, like grayish brown hair, and a sweet pocket protector. But he begins pulling a tarp out of his bag, and as it continues to go, you begin to see that it is actually a giant radioactive jumpsuit, but it is for sure the oldest thing on the ship besides himself. And he begins to like slowly like boot up and like get in here, and it's full on like hazmat suit is over. The clear glass screen is like against his face. It's far too big. It definitely doesn't do what it's supposed to do. And he's okay, well, let me just get out of the way. Everyone out of the way. Let me get in here. And he's gonna start going over to these bodies.
Okay.
I'm
I'm guessing.
successes on the medical.
Okay,
by the way.
so you check. Here's the thing. They have been down here for 2 weeks.
Mhm.
It's not that you don't know what's going on. It's that there's not a whole lot you can do to help them.
Yep.
That they are on a downward spiral to dying. And all you can do is try to make them comfortable. More than likely, the passed out one will pass within the night. The one next to them, quite possibly as well, just based on the breathing.
Okay. Based on that and purely on just the visual injuries, she would probably just administer morphine to both of them. So
yeah, you
and
pump
just-
some morphine in, and you watch the one that was already passed out give a little. Their shoulders give a little, and the same thing for the one that's breathing. You hear the raspiness come to a slower pace,
Mhm.
and their eyes also kind of close. And before they do, their disgusting hand reaches up and grabs your coat and pulls you kind of close, and you can smell death on their breath. And they say, "There's more of us alive at the bottom. You have to get us." As he kind of passes out, and his hand droops from your medical jacket.
Okay. She kind of tries to straighten herself up and looks to the professor to see what he's doing.
Dot, what would you like a roll here?
I would like a roll here. This is probably your. What do you use to be a scientist? That's gonna be probably observation. It's your
Science.
wit. Yeah, wits. Wits observation.
Wits
probably.
observation? Okay, that's
Yeah.
what I was feeling as well.
That's what I'm feeling too. Let's go with that, Mike.
No modifiers. One success.
One success. You run a Geiger counter. Just bare minimum stuff, right? Your your tinfoil suit makes noise as you go over and pan it, and it right. It just like goes off over their bodies. They are.
It's off the charts.
Yeah. Then you're like, okay, I gotta know. So you hobble over to the door where the two soldiers are. You can see one of them has their hands on it, trying to keep it braced, as the people on the other side are like, "Please help us, help us!" And you can only hear it through what little bit of crack has been made thanks to Jake prying it open earlier. And you run it just over the door seam alone, and it's more radiation. High levels of it, probably higher than even the two that are sitting out here by themselves. They can't open that door or they will contaminate everyone and everything.
He is as close to the crack as he can get, and like the clear acrylic screen is like, hello. What is it? Describe what you're feeling inside the cracks. Is it hot in there? Is it cold in there? Is it tingly on your everything? Your lip? What color are your lips? Look at your friend. Here's a light, and he's like trying to flash a flashlight into the crack. Look at you got colors. You seeing spots. What are you? Tell me what you're feeling.
The two soldiers are like looking at you like, what the hell is this crazy asshole? Like, what is going on? And one of the women like maybe pushes them out of the way, but you see her hair all but just a little bit missing. Her eyes are bloodshot. She's crying and bleeding from her eyes. And she says, "We can't hold out any longer. We climbed from the bottom." You can just barely hear. She's like, "Please."
Okay, let me see your fingers. What did you climb with? Did you use? Did you get super strength? Is there anything?
She bangs on the glass with her hand. This dense, like very thick glass. And you can see her hand is like, it's bloody. There's damage. She's taken burn damage she took from, again, the explosion, whatever happened that nobody really knows. And you watch after she kind of pushes them out of the way. People on the edge don't take well to physical violence, and corruption kind of ensues between the four of them. Somebody else pushes her back. And somebody goes, "Don't touch her!" and nut clocks him one. And these four people on the other side, radioactive, on the verge of death, use the last of their strength to beat each other to death.
As Vince watches that, he had just started the sentence, "We need to get them out of there. We need to..." and he just watches through the porthole and then shrinks
Ah,
down as he
yeah.
sees all these people.
Not so sure about that kid. It's looking a little grim.
Hey, Dot.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to also just examine the bodies, anything that's left behind or under their nails, things like that. General stuff.
Oh, okay.
Not quite an autopsy yet, but
Yet. Okay,
in
this
the
is
field.
interesting. Okay. Oh, this is good. All right. You are gonna
I'm
roll an
scared.
observation as well. This is an observation roll for you, just to see if you find anything really extra. I mean, you could. There's
Got
some
it.
basic things you can do, but this will be like extra for you.
One
Okay,
success.
So one success. So the two bodies that are out here, and all of you can hear it, muted, right? Just like something happening on the other side of a underwater, right? Like it's dense and thick, and these people are screaming, "No, please don't! I want out!" You know, one person is left, a man. He drags himself up as you turn and look at the two bodies in front of you. You dig under the nails. You don't really find a whole lot other than dirt, which tells you they found dirt. You've not seen any dirt on this cold ass frozen rock since you got here 2 fucking years ago.
What do you got there, Doc?
I'm just gonna take some samples. There's some kind of debris, though.
What kind?
Possibly
what kind of
organic.
Debris? What kind of debris?
I cannot tell you. I do not have my kit here.
What does it taste like?
I am not tasting possibly radioactive material. You
I'll
be my
taste
guest.
it.
No.
No, what the hell?
I can
is-
taste it.
No,
No.
no. What are you?
Stop putting
Well,
strange
will it help?
ideas
The
into a
doctor,
child's head.
he says it'll help.
No, it won't. help.
No,
I mean,
no, it won't.
definitely can't hurt.
He looks like
Professor,
a cartoon
honestly.
character. Just let that old man continue to old. All right, you try to stay young and don't put weird shit in your mouth.
Kate,
She starts just collecting the samples and putting them into individual files and things.
By the way, how old are you again? Why do you have a lighter?
I'm 11. It's my dad's.
And you
You
know
know
what,
the one
Vin-
who's in there.
No. And Vince, when you say that, it's almost just like a mind memory flash real fast. That moment, something about what Jake said reminded you. Before your dad went down 2 weeks ago, he gave you this lighter, of course. And as he put it in your hand and he zipped up his radiation suit going down with a group of 12 people, your mother included, he said to you, "My daddy gave me this. It's yours now. It came from old Earth." And he said, "So take care of it. And whatever you do, just don't put stuff in your mouth." And he boops you on the nose.
Okay,
And
I'll remember.
we see him walk off. And it cuts back to this moment in time.
Hey, can I see that kid?
Why?
Just want to look at it. Older thing, something that you get to see that from, and we're
You're
not.
not going to throw it away, are you?
No, why would I do that?
I don't know. People are mean sometimes. He hands it over.
Kind of admires it. You'll see Jake kind of shake it next to his head and toss it back. You ain't burning anything with this. It's empty.
Oh,
You're 11, right?
yeah.
Why aren't you setting shit on fire?
Is there a bigger lighter around?
No, but I can put some in this. I got some spare lighter fuel, some butane
Sure.
and things. I get access to all kinds of shit.
Yeah.
Wouldn't
You're
a
11. You're supposed to have some
flamethrower be
regrets,
better?
but you're not supposed to.
More practical.
Just don't inject. He's 11. A lighter's just fine. What is?
What's a flamethrower?
No, I can probably.
It's a much larger version.
It's
of
like
a lighter.
it has like a backpack and it's like a gun that shoots fire. Like,
A gun
right
that
out.
shoots.
Yeah, no bullets, just fire, so it's safe for kids to
I'm
use.
just saying, from an efficiency perspective, a flamethrower would be much more effective if you're trying to light something on
None
fire.
of you had kids before. Nobody
No.
has a sense of safety. Kid,
No.
I'm not
I
even.
am a
The
kid.
lighter's fine, but it's just gonna have to be better at this point than a flamethrower. Would you like? I'm not gonna give you a flamethrower, but would you like some fire? Because I can make that happen.
I wasn't
mean-
suggesting to actually give him one. I was just speaking from an equipment perspective.
I mean, would you like a flamethrower though?
I
Like I could probably
I
make you
my
a flamethrower.
parents. I
Right,
want
we're
my
getting
parents.
off topic, so
What about a consolation
That's
prize
all
for
I
a
want.
flamethrower?
There's the one last man, and you hear the sound of a thud, much harder than his hands. Now his skull begins cracking against the glass. "Let me in!" As he smashes his face over and over, making it harder to see him every time as his own blood becomes a diffuser for the glass.
Yeah, about that. Let's kid, you and I need it's a little grim. Yeah, let's go up. We get the butane and make this light up and go Sparky. Let's Doc,
Vince is
you
just silent.
handle the
watching.
things. Man's bouncing us melon off shit. This ain't for kids.
Yeah, it's not great. It's not good. And Barden is gonna reach over and grab his digital video camcorder and open the side panel. Yeah, no, this is real. This is some real science situation. I wonder why you think he's doing
I'm gonna
that.
slap him. I'm gonna slap Barden.
What?
Yeah, sure.
Right on the cheek.
Just a nice solid, nothing that takes you to the floor, nothing like that, but a nice solid slap for the old professor.
But it definitely
Hey,
rattles
hey.
the whole bag that he's in. Whoa!
Wake up, man.
What are you doing?
There's a kid right here. It's a kid.
Well, who brought the kid to the crime scene, to the science crime scene? Was it you?
It's not a
Are
crime.
you on
scene.
drugs?
I came myself.
I mean, I make a series of non-prescription based drugs. Yeah, occasionally. That is neither here nor there. You gotta get by to get by, you know. But who brought the kid to the mystery door full of radioactive people? Was that you, Jake?
How did you even get elected to be on? I don't understand.
I was chosen for a very
specific.
specific reason here. I'm a xenogeologist. I don't know what you're not understanding about that. I deal with foreign geology, and that down there is a mining shaft full of foreign geology and radioactive entities that were once people that
You
are
are
definitely
not-
he's
You're not
dead.
long for this world, Doc. I'm feeling that. Eve, please just make sure he doesn't put anything in his mouth either, because there's a lot more children on this ship than I was aware of.
Wait, are you saying?
Oh, you're inferring that he's acting like a child. I see.
yes,
Were you trying to say that there's more children to taste the rocks?
Yep.
off Jake and Vince.
That's what I'm
walk on
saying.
shoulders. Yep, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. And there's just a kind of stomping almost of Jake's feet a little bit, and you're left with the scientist and the doctor, this bumbling scientist and doctor. You're trying to focus on these people. You're a very astute doctor. You've taken care of these people for 2 years, and your role gave you a success more than just knowing a few things. There's something that catches your eye, and it's not medical. It was an observation role, in fact. One of these people is suited up in a spaceship suit, like a space suit that comes out of that is not native to this. You've never seen one like this before. They are wearing a suit from a different vessel, a different spaceship. Where they got it, you don't know.
Is there like an emblem or symbols or
Yeah,
anything?
it is. Okay. It is not. It does not have a patch on it, which tells you that this is not Weyland-Yutani, because Weyland-Yutani stamps freaking everything.
Mhm.
So it's definitely not Weyland-Yutani. So this is either off of a unmarked vessel, which there are lots of pirates and the
Mhm.
such, or this is a freelance vessel. Like they don't have a stamp, but you can see the name of the ship, and y'all haven't named your ship, so it says whatever that name is. We'll learn that
Okay.
later. But this is a spacesuit that comes standard on pretty much any vessel to keep people safe if there's like an air leak or so forth and so on. But he's wearing part of one. He's not wearing like the helmet, but the rest of the suit, as tattered as it is from a different vessel. Though this is
Interesting.
somebody from the mining colony.
Because I recognize them despite the fact that they're, a little burnt up, or are they completely unrecognizable?
You would know that this was one of the science crew that went
Okay.
down. This was one of the scientists. Yeah, this is the one that's like definitely passed out sleeping, probably in some kind of a coma at this point. They're gonna die, like I said, in a few hours.
Right.
Yeah, this was one of the scientists, part of the science team. It's a young man. He can't be more than about 30. But he is almost unrecognizable in terms of his face and his hands and the parts that are outside of this radioactive suit.
Okay, that's good to know. I think she'll kind of grab her scalpel and just kind of cut around where the ship name is and just kind of take it with her so that she has it for reference.
Yeah. Yeah, it's probably like sewn in the tag or something. You know?
Yeah.
So you cut the tag out with like a scalpel. I love that, and pocket it for later.
Mhm.
Dot is McMillan smashed? Is he still
Oh, he's.
smashing?
I mean, there's only so much you can smash a melon before it's not a melon anymore.
Right, and that's kind of what I'm hoping for here.
It's past that. There's no more thudding on
once,
the door.
yeah,
It's
once
quiet.
the thuds turn into a slippery slump, Professor Bart is like, okay, all right, so it's safe
Can we go in
now. So could you guys, with your guns and your muscles, just get the whole thing open so we can get in there?
Yeah, the soldier takes a second look. Like I said, you can barely see through the glass. He pulls the piece of metal and creaks the door, and it takes both of them to yank it open versus the single Jake. And you can see there's now a pile of 4 bodies here, and 4 additional bodies that seem to have been dead much longer. They're in a bit of a decay process. Probably like quickened decay, no doubt, even in this radiation, like the body's just dying off quicker. So that makes 10 of 12.
Okay, so I just want to say you did a great job today. So if you two could just get in there and just get those corpses right out of the tunnel, that'd be great. I assure you, it's safe. I'm a scientist. You're fine.
The Geiger counter is going off like
It's a
nuts. This whole area is like super radioactive. No, sir, I'm a soldier.
What I'm trying to tell you is that by having the door open one time and then by opening the door right now, it's not like the radioactivity is a solid mass. So when you open the door both times, opening it back and forth, you couldn't like a concurrent currency of wind.
Roll a
and all
manipulation since you're trying to convince them to walk into a highly radioactive area.
What I'm trying to say is that
regardless
this area
if he succeeds or not.
God.
Dr. E speaks up. She's like, basically what he's telling you is that at this point you've already been exposed to radiation, so it doesn't really matter.
yeah, the whole area is irradiated. You're like a neon sign.
What?
Yeah, that's what
They
happens.
kind of look at each other like, I didn't sign up for this.
Open it.
And both of them, one of them, they begin pulling the 4 bodies near the door. Those are easy, right? Just a couple hands and feet, and they kind of move those in. They put on like those gloves, you know, the bloodline ones, and move the bodies over. Your team, the doctor's team, loads them up and begins moving them. They bag them in something to keep the radiation contained and begin moving them back over to the science facility where you would have a proper containment unit for contaminated bodies. At least Professor Barden would. Or at least know where one is. They rock, paper, scissors to see who goes in to get the other 4 bodies that have been there for a longer period of time.
You see, the trick is if you both go in at the same time and pull them out, you get in and out faster, and then you get less radiation.
They both look at you. There's like, one's got scissors, one's got paper. He lost, and he looks at the other guy and goes, what he said, you can just help me, man.
In and out.
And so in and out they go. They like run over there and they pull these bodies back as fast as possible. And finally the other 4 are relieved. And one of them gets curious and peers over the edge where the people kind of crawled out of. And you can see him like lean, the kind of creaking of metal as he leans over and looks down. It's a long way down, all the way down to the reactor. And he looks over and sees the elevator on the far side. And he goes, man, how'd they get up here? That's like 10 miles. And the other guys go, dude, what are you doing? Come on.
What do you see down there?
Nothing. It doesn't even look like it's working anymore. He says it's just really, really dark.
Yeah. Here, throw this, and he like cracks a glow stick and throws it. Like it goes like 10 feet.
Lands, yeah, it doesn't land very far because you don't throw very hard. And he kind of kicks it over and knocks it over the side, and we see it drop all the way to the bottom, and it keeps going. Finally, it hits something, which is probably a part of the actual like reactor and the mining mechanism itself. And it dings off of it, and you can hear it way down. Ding, 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 ding. Goes, nothing. He goes, we're not going to be able to go down there and get those other people till we fix the elevator.
Oh, you just get erect like a series of ropes and pulleys, like back in the old days.
His friend has already pulled the last body out and is on the other side of the door. He goes, "Come on, dude, I'm closing this shit." And his friend turns and goes, "Okay," and coughs and spatters blood everywhere. He goes, "What the hell, man?" Professor, the radiation here may be a lot worse than you thought. It seems to already be taking hold of disintegrating his organs. He's now got blood like all over him. His eyes are now a little bloodshot. He goes, "What?"
Hey, Doc. If someone is becoming soup on the insides, how quickly can you do like a medical science? Not my forte. I don't do people. I do rocks.
Okay, so usually when you're exposed for radiation, and she kind of goes off about this whole thing.
Yeah, no, I get. Hey, Corporal Soupy, let's go. Come on. Get on it.
We need to contain him.
Yeah, contain him in your lab.
The both of them.
Yeah.
His friend goes, "That's gonna happen to me?"
I mean, this is like a
very possible.
like
yes.
a 78.9% chance.
Okay, we just gotta take general breaths. Okay.
Yeah, if you take too many breaths, you breathe in the radiation, and then it liquefies your lungs.
Don't listen to him. You need to go over there with whatever equipment you have.
Yeah.
And go and take some readings over in that direction. And she just kind of points wherever else.
Yeah, no, that would be great. And he like reaches into his pocket and pulls, which is like just a hole in the side of the suit, into his pocket, and pulls out like some kind of canister and just scrapes like the inside of the wall to try to get like rock debris, and then closes this little metal tin canister and puts it back in his. Okay, I gotta go to the lab.
Yep.
Good luck.
Sounds great.
With your soup.
Thank you.
He gets his backpack.
Never wanting soup ever again.
And the door is closed again. You watch as the soldier that wasn't quite as exposed seals it off, welds it shut as quick and tight as possible, making sure nobody can go back in, at least not right away. And your team, the rest of the bodies, you and the professor take them all back into a lockdown state to keep this excess radiation from leaking. But our camera finds Jake and Vince. Now where do you take him to set up his makeshift flamethrower?
Probably the maintenance shack.
Okay. You share the maintenance shack with the station janitor, Sal. He is an old man. He was very clearly put here by Wayland Yutani to die. That they were like, if we just put him here, he'll just go away. And he's like sitting off in a corner, and he's just kind of bopping a mop up and down in a bucket. He's not really mopping anything. He's just sitting there like an old man. And he looks over and notes you and goes back to mixing soap water.
Living up the best you can, Sal, right? Like back in the old days, up and down, really greasing that pole.
He kind of grunts and he goes, "Back in the old days. Before I was stuck underwater with all of you guys. Now I just fucking mop floors all day and wipe your piss off the toilets."
There's a kid, man. Maintain that a little bit.
Your pee-pee off the toilets.
Yeah, I guess that works.
He kind of splashes and he goes, "I gotta go mop the mess hall." He stands up with his bucket and he starts like pushing it out in front of him as he waddles out away, leaving the two of you to some privacy.
Don't mind him. That's Sal. He got a bit of an attitude. He's like 196, and that happens somewhere around your 100th birthday, I promise.
I didn't know people can get that old.
Maybe not physically, but definitely mentally.
Oh, what's my mental age?
That is yet to be determined, kid.
How do I figure it out?
Trauma, mostly.
Oh,
Trauma.
I feel kind of old then.
Yeah. Did I see you playing with a race car?
Yeah, you want to see it? And he zips open his backpack immediately and pulls out this old classic RC car. It's actually it's not really the functional type that's like meant to go off-roading. It's like a mock-up Lamborghini or something. Like it's one of those fancy sports car RC cars. The paint on it is kind of chipped. It's not even really paint, it's just colored plastic. But he kind of plops it down onto the graded floor, pulls out a remote control that's kind of the knobs are kind of greasy, and then flicks a switch on the car and then on the controller, and then It takes a few seconds, and he starts pressing the knob up, and it doesn't work. And he's like, I can get it to work. Hold on. And he just slams his fist down on the RC car, and then it starts to race. And he kind of runs it and rides it around the mops and the brooms and the janitor supplies that are in this maintenance thing as a impromptu race course. You want to try it?
Yeah, yeah. I used to play around with those with my dad when I was probably about your age. Let me fill your lighter first, and
Yeah, it only just ran out. I was using it in the vent. Are you sure you didn't break it?
I'm positive that I didn't break it, but you may have done something when you fell. You could have busted a filament.
Oh,
You got to be a little careful, man. You don't want to just bang up your knees too much. As you get older, you're gonna appreciate not having fucked up knees. Let me take a look at it. And he's not gonna fix anything. He's just gonna refill it and then test it to see if it strikes. And after filling it back up, kind of shaking it to make sure, giving it a moment, and passes back to him. Go ahead, test it out. It burns
Okay.
back up with flame. Cool.
cool. It's a lot bigger.
He starts waving it around.
It doesn't go
Wow.
out, right? It's like one of those Navy Zippos that like extreme winds and cold weather and stuff keep it lit.
Yeah, they got what they call a governor clip on old Zippos like that, and it's really just a small little attachment to stop your flame from burning out, mostly so dumbasses don't burn off their eyebrows when they light a cigarette. But I took it off because, well, when I was your age, I made a lot of mistakes, and I needed someone to make sure that I could do it. So there you go.
Thanks.
It's a lot smaller than a flamethrower, but
Jake, I have a question.
yeah.
What's a foo bar?
It's a state of being. It's a state of being. Did your parents cuss? Were they cussers?
My dad did a little bit, and then my mom would always be like, "Shh," but
Okay,
fuck,
well,
I heard it. I've heard it before.
yeah, you heard it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, if you
That's
heard
how
it,
it works,
then,
right?
pretty close. Pretty close. Usually, it just depends on the intent behind it. But
Oh,
Fubar means that it's basically it's not salvageable. That it means it's fucked up beyond all belief, or fucked up beyond. You get the picture. It's basically destroyed, kid. It's not really a thing anymore. But I wanna see something. You mind if I work around on your car for a second? Tell me a bit more about your family. I wanna check something.
well, my mom is kind of they're both engineers, and he passes over the car and the controller. They're both engineers. My mom's always been a bit more on the sciencey side. We used to do these experiments with chemistry and tubes and everything. You ever heard of
Tubes?
this thing called devil's toothpaste or something like that? I forget the name. It's like it goes everywhere, and it's like this big spreading
Yeah, I think I saw it in a
thing.
movie once. It wasn't for kids though.
Sure, okay. But yeah, and then my dad's more of the engineering side, and
Cool.
he's was the one who was working on the drill and all the stuff that was going down into the planet.
Oh,
But
that's wild. While
yeah,
he's telling me all these things, I want to I kind of want to because I had a lot of extra money left over, so I have basically excess, and we're in like the
Great.
maintenance area. So
Okay.
I want to take an old like camera and walker kit and use some of my Comtech if I can, so I can attach a camera to his car.
Oh, nice. Okay. I love that. Let's yeah, so make a Comtech roll.
Cool. Yes.
And we'll
I
say
will do
since
that.
you're in your workshop, your space, you get a +1 die. It's like working where you do it best.
Cool. Wonder if there are any tools that have access to help me out here. No, not
Duct
unless
tape.
a compression suit will help. Hey.
Oh, hey. I would say that you not only hook up the camera, but you're able to extend not only the battery life of the car, but the actual length, the distance at which you can control the vehicle. Like you extend its antenna, I guess you could say.
And while I was able to do that to the car itself, I'll probably just have like a small camera, like a tablet screen, and I'll just tape it to the back of the remote control. It's like you just flip it
what
over.
is this?
Oh, nice.
It's
Oh, it's
it's
like
just
a video game.
yeah, kind of, yeah.
He starts driving it, and at first he's looking at the car, but then he looks at the screen and he has to get used to driving it through the screen. Um, and then he looks up and says, "Have you ever wanted to be an engineer or a scientist? Why I my parent my mom didn't really like you or people like you. Like she said that you weren't smart."
Well, to be fair, she's she's
But you
not
seem
wrong.
smart to me.
She's not
No,
wrong.
I mean, what did you just do? You made a video game on my car. This is really cool.
No, I just repurposed a kid, and I just look. You know what a Wayland Utani is? Did you ever find out? Your mom and dad ever tell you?
That's a company, right?
Yeah. That's the company that hired us. Probably your mom and dad too. Um, I had some visions, some dreams too when I was just old enough to get into trouble, and I just told myself one day that I would be something different than my father. And well, I
What
kind
did
of
your
did.
dad do? Was he a scientist?
Uh, he uh, he was in and out of jail a lot. He did drugs. He
Oh,
yeah he you know what spousal abuse is? Because that's mostly what he was good at. So it didn't last long.
spousal? I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah. It's all right. It's all right. But yeah. I wanted to do something different, so I did. I signed up for the Wayland Utani thing, and I don't know. I thought that I was gonna do something cool, make something different, and show my dad that he was a real piece of shit. And now here I am on this fucking icy ass planet where even little kids tell me that I'm not smart. So I went far,
No,
right?
no, no, no. I think you're very smart. That's what I said. I think you're smart. My parents probably, well, they didn't and they don't, but I think they're wrong. I'm glad that you know, I know there was the time with the vent before and we didn't really talk at all, but
That's all right. It's all right. I mean, shit, I don't care. I got a kid. I got a kid too.
you do?
Yeah, she's about your age.
She's not here, is she?
Nope, she's not.
Where is she?
Home. I got a picture of her. Last time I was with her. You want to see?
Sure.
I'll produce what looks to be like a not a retro, but a modern-esque Polaroid, and I'll pass it over to him. And you'll see a much younger Jake, and he's with a woman probably about his age, and he's holding a baby.
She doesn't look my age at all.
Yeah, it's been a while.
And Vince kind of does some double takes between the photo, looking at Jake in the photo, and then looking at Jake now, but doesn't say anything.
And
And then
you actually see on the bottom it says, "What a proud dad. Love you, Ben."
Who's Ben?
Kind of tears off the name tag, and he puts it right on Vince's shirt. I'm Ben. That's
I
my
thought
real
you were
name.
Jake.
Yeah, that's how Wayland Utani cares, because when I came here, they gave me somebody else's scrubs and work attire, and nobody ever asked. So I was just Jake.
Well, I guess I'm Jake now.
Yeah, you are, kid. You're Jake. So you basically, what this means is you don't have to give a shit about what anybody says.
I could do what you do.
Mostly.
Are you going to change now, though? But you have to change because you're not Jake anymore. I'm Jake. I get to be Jake. Hey, I'm Jake. I can do all sorts of stuff. Let me attach a camera. I have problems with this thing. Oh, look at my family.
I'll
Sorry.
tell you the truth, Vince. Nobody's going to ask my name. They're going to ask where you got the name tag.
Because in all the time that I've been here, since the last time that I saw Lillian, that's my daughter's name, by the way, nobody's ever asked my name.
Well, do you want me to call you Ben? Because I'll call you Ben. You're not Jake anymore. I'm Jake.
Okay, then, Jake. Sure, you can call me Ben, but you're gonna probably confuse some people.
I can be Vince and Jake at the same time. I think it's funny though. We'll see what they say. Maybe we'll fool them. Maybe they'll be like, "Oh, hey Jake, could you go fix this thing?" And I'll be like, "Yeah, I can do it. I got big muscles. I can open the door. Watch this." You know. Hey, do you need a camera added to your car? I could totally do that.
Hey, Vince, you excuse me, Jake, you feeling kind of ballsy? You want to try something cool? I'm having a little too many feels, so check this out. This is a Watatsumi DV303. It's a bolt gun. Go put a hole in something.
Whoa. And he just grabs the thing and he points it at the broom that's standing up, and he shoots. I have no idea what it shoots.
It's a single shot. It's a single shot.
Is it an actual gun?
Oh yeah, it's like
Oh.
it's like a giant box essentially that you push it up to it, and it, for what it is, nothing in the game does as much damage for what it exactly is.
It's pressurized, so it needs contact. Usually, it's meant to like drive into steel. It would like hammer in railroad spikes. Like it has that level of pressure behind it. Okay, here's the question: do you use it appropriately, or do you just fire it off?
When he hands it to me, assuming that he didn't show me how to use it, I would just hold it and then fire it without being pressed up against anything, but I'm aiming at the wall. Basically.
Okay, this is a ranged combat. You're not really hitting anything, but I want to see if you manage to stay on your feet. So this is agility, ranged combat.
Okay. And I just press a button?
Just hit ranged combat on the sheet. It should roll it up for you.
Sounds good. No modifiers or anything?
No modifiers for this one. If anything, you should probably take a negative, but I'm going to let you have it.
Hey, there we go.
Two. Okay.
He fully embodied the spirit of Jake and fucking fired that bolt caster.
You truly did.
All the powers in the name tag. That's the key.
So it's you check your name tag, and are you shooting it at anything in particular?
I'm just imagining like there's the thing that mops go in, and some of that janitor equipment. Just
like a locker of some kind.
Yeah, and I'm just shooting it at the blank part of the wall.
Yeah, you point with style, and you fire, and it does push you backwards. It doesn't take you off your feet. But Jake, you're rather dexterous, I guess, in your agility, and you put a foot back, and it kind of like slides you all the way across the floor. And as you it fire, and it puts a hole through the locker about this big, and it makes a massive sound. About this time, you hear the sound of a mop bucket coming back around a corner. It is Sal. Jake, you would know his name is Sal T. Tears. Thank you, chat, for that one. His name is Sal T. Tears. And he is salty. And he goes, "What? Oh, put a hole in my locker."
Jake,
I mean, that wasn't like that.
Jake turns the gun at the janitor, says, "You better back up."
Hey, kind of like slap it down. It's
oh god.
He kid, it's a single shot. You gotta read. I'll tell you later. All right, look, Sal, it was a mistake. He was trying to help me with something, and it kind of bounced around out of his hands. I'll fix it. Don't worry about it. You're not gonna do anything.
My favorite locker.
Every locker's your favorite. Stop being old as fuck.
He goes, "They're so good." And he starts slamming doors. This old man, he pushes his stuff over, and he goes, I'm quit, but I can't go anywhere.
We're all stuck here, Sal.
Vince says, "Hey, Ben, can we go check on the doctor and what's going on back at the door? I was kind of just waiting for them to."
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
Sal looks concerned and looks at you and says, "What's going on?"
You know the reactor when it went blue, right?
Yeah, I know.
The kid's parents were down there.
His eyes cut and look at the kid. Look at the gun in his hand, or was in his hand. Looks back at you.
trying to give him something to take his mind off of, because you know what it might be like down there.
Yeah, I guess I ought to go down there and mop up, huh?
Probably with Barden down there, you're probably gonna have to mop more than you're even prepared for. Bring a separate
Arden,
mop.
whatever. He is a mop. And he kind of grunts as he kind of grabs the bleach because he recognizes this situation the way you kind of put it to him, and the camera will kind of cut and follow him, and as he walks back across the bridge, our camera stops outside of kind of the science facility, which is adjacent to the medical facility. Much of the same equipment for different uses. And inside we see a containment chamber that has far too many bodies for how small it is. It's meant to hold 4 or 5 maybe. It now has 10 dead bodies in it, laid out very precisely in body bags inside of this room. And the HUD on the outside shows you how much radiation is on the inside. And the two of you, the professor and the doctor, are standing there.
Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
what now?
Well, I should probably try to establish some kind of, I guess, timeline, really, at this point, of who died first, if even at all possible, considering the degradation of the bodies in general. But I have these samples. I figure you might want to run them. And she kind of takes out these.
You could also just hold, and then you just review the footage right here. This is when that one guy took the other guy and like.
This is of the mess hall. This is not the same location.
This was the. And the. Hold on. That's a family thing.
Yeah, you swiped. You're on the wrong one. Yeah.
That's a selfie. Those are
no dick pics, Mike.
Those are this is what I'm talking about. This is the tunnel when they're smashing in the heads, and then this is where you can see this is the shaking part. That's what Jake.
Okay.
You know, hold on. There you go. So that's like a timeline of when they killed each other, right?
You all rewatched the two of you rewatched the interior footage of these 4 people beat each other to death, and there is definitely what interests you the most is them crawling out. Doctor.
Right.
Like you rewind and go back to the top. You're like, okay, these 4 were already dead, and you do the thing that you do. Those 4 are dead, and were dead for a lot longer, which means they reached the surface sooner, but they died sooner. And then you kind of continue to scroll through and thumb through and try to make some more deductions about this group. Most interestingly enough, you find another person in a suit. Somebody that was on the outside. This one's now covered in blood because they were in a hand-to-hand combat with one another. But you can see that this person, too, has extreme massive burns, as if maybe the clothes they probably went down in went up, and they changed clothes. They found something. This is the second person that is in a jumpsuit that does not match this station.
Okay. So does it look like in this particular case, they had time to change?
They've had 2 weeks down there.
But to find intact anything, you know?
Yeah, so that's really the question. So the kind of chain of events was like the reactor went off and something happened. There was a little bit of like an explosion. A team went down to go fix it and check it out. There was a secondary explosion.
Okay.
That is what took everybody out. They went down to fix it thinking it was done, and it clearly was not. So after the second explosion, they were all clearly not killed, which is good. You can see, 10 of the 12 were not killed right away. But they were probably stranded. Based on the footage, and you see it too, the elevator down is heavily damaged. So they had to climb the 10 miles, if that is how far down they actually went. This is why these people are barely hanging on for life.
Right. So in this case, I think her primary assessment is going to be based on, okay, I'm going to take one of the bodies that was already dead, and I'm going to figure out when did it die, or at least how far down the road did the organic matter inside start to completely break down.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, let's I will let you choose. You can roll a medical aid on this, or you can choose to roll. This is actually kind of a survival check, like looking at like how the body decomposed. What was it that made it do that? But I suspect your medical aid is better.
Yeah, I didn't take survival because I wasn't sure exactly how it applied.
Yeah,
from that
totally.
perspective,
So then let's just do medical aid because you're looking at this from a
Correct.
physician's standpoint. Yeah.
Okay. Anything from modifiers for
I was about to
equipment?
say you're also at your station, so I would say there's a +1. This is like you're not
Okay.
out in a hallway
Yeah.
anymore trying to do this. You've got what you need.
Okay. 2 successes.
Oh yeah, for sure. So what you learn is the other 4 bodies have been dead about a week.
Okay. So everybody probably survived the initial
The initial blast. So this
Okay.
this first 4 have been dead about a week, though there is extreme deterioration based on the radiation. The other 4 obviously were alive just minutes ago, so they climbed them. They climbed out, but they came much later, which makes you think maybe they sent one crew up to try to tell people to come get
to get
them,
help. Yeah.
and they died. And then they sent a second crew up.
Mhm.
You're still missing 2 people, and the man did die telling you that there were still more alive.
Right. Interesting. Okay. And so they basically all died a week after, and then so they were down there for 2 weeks. The first crew died a week into it, which means that wherever they started, either they were closest to the top or they were just selected randomly to go up or whatever.
It could have been too. They met that radiation first and tried to make the climb first. The other ones had a week of rest or found something. You're not entirely sure. Maybe they were at a different place that had less immediate impact. But yeah, your deductions are pretty spot on.
Okay. Well, okay. So everybody that was inside, here's what I know, is that they all survived at least a week.
Okay.
So the first group of people that we see in the footage that are already dead have been dead for about a week. So if there was an area that was survivable to some degree, so my guess is it's possible that the 2 other missing individuals could potentially still be alive, though I wouldn't be too optimistic about their radiation exposure unless somehow they were able to find radiation suits and oxygen. I mean, XYZ, thousands of other things. So,
well, I mean, so
improbable,
the situation would be like if they were mining, it wasn't radioactive the whole time. So if they were digging straight down,
Correct.
then they must have hit a pocket of radioactivity
Correct.
and busted it
Yes.
wide open like a canister of death.
Yes. Well, what I'd like to do is, since you have a little bit more
Yeah.
background in this, these debris samples that I took, these look organic. They do not look like
Yeah.
something from the station. So perhaps we can gain
Did
some
you-
kind of information from it. And she just takes the vials and kind of
Did
gives
you
them-
taste it?
No, this is the whole thing about me not tasting radioactive material.
I understand. I get it. It's risky. Some people don't want to do it. Do you have petri dishes, like the little glass
Of course.
with the lid on them?
Yes.
You have
Yes.
like
We have all of the equipment.
You got
necessary.
You're
10 of
asking
them.
for things that are right in front of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's kind of just
You're
like,
that guy.
behold.
you got like 10 of them, 10 to 20.
Sure, yes.
Yeah,
Endless
yeah.
supplies, of
Great.
course.
Oh wow, you got well funded here. This is like a.
And
I wish I had this kind of funding.
you did take some samples as well.
Yeah.
I
so-
imagine you put
Yeah,
you put
so what
those
he-
samples under a microscope.
What he's going to do first is take the an appropriate amount of petri dishes, and to each person he's basically going to scrape out their boots or shoes or whatever makes for
Yep,
that,
yep,
and then fingernails to each kind of person, and then take out his, which is probably just like 2099 Altoids tin is basically what it is that he pulls out that he had scraped off of the wall, right?
2099 Altoid tin. It's like okay, yep.
And he's going to start. This isn't like a radio spectrometer, but is this a standard issue microscope? Is that what this is? Like a regular microscope?
I don't understand your question.
Can you see in different spectrums, or is this just like eyeballs magnified?
How good are your eyes?
Regular eyes, I guess.
I see.
Okay. So it's not a radio spectrometer. Okay, that's fine. I was just saying, I figured if you had all the unlimited supply.
I'm sure
but
if we
it's-
requisition one, it would be here in about 6 months.
6 months. Takes me 3 years to get a fucking requisition. This is ridiculous. Fucking packages get lost all the time. And I'm gonna use this. And he's gonna...
And yeah, you go over and start using it. And there's a ding, Doc. The dirt that you pulled from underneath fingernails, and the Doc begins kind of running some similar samples off boots and things. I'm gonna say the first sample from the nails was probably the most clean. Like from underneath their nails, and it in fact is dirt. Like I said, you've not seen any dirt. The tests that you run say that it is possibly the core of this planet. It's highly radioactive, the dirt itself. So there's a possibility that there is something other than water and ice on this rock, and you might have found it. Now, Professor, yours reveals a different kind of dirt. Still dirt, still of interest, but as you run it, it is not quite as native to this planet.
Okay, I don't like that.
Yeah, it carbon dates 10 years.
Like it's 10 years
ago.
old?
Yeah, not from this planet. You run it through the kind of Wayland-Yutani database system, and it pings that this is a specific kind of acidic sand that is found on a planet known as, I want to make sure I get it right. Yeah, Fiornia 161.
Does that ring any bells?
You can pull it up if you want to, like, if it's like, this is what it pings to, and you pull up the database. The Wayland-Yutani kind of library tells you that this is a prison planet. And currently it is not functioning and on the market to sell for scrap. Well, was 10 years ago. Nobody has purchased it.
The whole planet.
It is. The whole planet is closed down and marked as inactive by Wayland-Yutani.
Okay, so, Doc, I know... Hold on. He takes off the hood. I know what I look like right now, okay? And I know that I got like a reputation for being a mad scientist. But hear me out. This is going to sound off the walls bonkers. It's the scientific term for it.
Okay, try me.
Okay, this dirt, this specific one here from the boots of that guy. This boot dirt is 10 years old from a different planet.
That would actually explain why they were wearing different jumpsuits. That's an interesting...
Yeah, so what
discovery.
I'm thinking is at the center of the planet, because you found it's dirt, right? So we thought it was all ice and water.
Well, yes,
and
this
then,
dirt.
Then the center of the planet is actually a dirt. It's a dirt ball, right? And then inside the dirt ball, like an egg, like a golden nugget in the egg, there's actually like a portal. Boop, boop.
No.
He talks a lot about this portal.
Because what happened is they were at a planet. This is the planet. Here,
No.
look. And,
No,
he, like, moves.
the most
And
likely
No, let's
explanation-
look. See, and then they were at this planet. This is a prison planet that's across the whole galaxy.
I thought you were a
And then
scientist.
I am. And then my science is dirt. Science is... And portals.
Theories that can't be proven?
I mean, that's how science...
Okay, can
that's-
we look at the
I don't-
evidence for
Listen,
just a
I don't know
moment?
if you've done science besides opening up suit bodies, but, like, that's how it starts. You look at things and go, that's improbable, and then you make it probably a thing.
You look at his screen. He has pulled up a map of what is currently the mapped system of this area. Fiornia 161 is not close, though it does fall in the Wayland-Yutani sector. I don't know if I can show you a map or not, but I think I
basically,
can get it on
what I'm saying is, how did these guys get
Way
inside
down here is Fiornia,
the
and
center?
they went all the way up here, where this little planet is, where you're at. That is how far a distance it is.
So 10 years wouldn't be unreasonable for somebody to get from there to here, technically.
Possibly not.
but-
It could take them that long without folding light.
Right.
But what I'm
Without faster
saying,
than
Doc,
light.
Yeah.
is how did they get here and
I
then
have a
be
theory.
inside the planet?
Yes, I have a theory.
Okay.
That did not come from inside the planet. That came off of the people that were not on this colony 10 years ago.
But this body isn't 10 years old. You just said the other day it died.
Because this equipment does not belong to them. This is not from our station.
Listen, I'm just saying.
She takes out the piece that she had. This is not us. This is a ship.
Yeah.
That doesn't belong to us here.
Oh,
Doesn't
boop.
even belong to Wayland.
Yeah.
Why don't maybe we can search if anything comes up in the database.
I mean, I
Maybe
guess, but I mean, there's going to be no tracking information if there's a space portal. That's what I'm saying. It's just you're not going to find anything in there.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah. So.
Portals are not tracked.
I know.
They could show up right in front of us
That's
now.
exactly what. That's the danger of roving black holes is that you never know because they're roving, and then boop boop. There you go. Now you're inside the core of a planet, and you're irradiated, and you have superior insights. So
Maybe once you find one of these, you can name it after yourself, because, you know.
the Barden black hole. That's what I'll call it. That's a good idea. Yeah, I like that.
You
how
you
that
try
sounds.
to search for information on this vessel. This is above your pay grade and outside of like what you're allowed to know.
Mm-hmm.
The good news is about this time when it's like, you know, unauthorized access.
Yeah.
To access that information, you hear the clicking of very nice shoes. No Wayland Yutani station of this caliber is not equipped with its own representative. His tie is tight, his shirt is crisp, and he rounds the corner and the first thing he says is, "Explain to me what is going on."
Explain to me how she gets all the money and I live in a broom closet. I'm sorry, that was an outburst, Doc. I didn't mean to. It was a pent up thing that. I'm sorry. It's very clean in here and you keep a very tidy space. I didn't mean to take that out on you.
Are there survivors?
No, and there are still 2 missing.
Goddamn with your clip on tie.
However,
Fucking shoes.
if we could have a more robust way to access the highly irradiated area, then perhaps we could find the other 2 people. And if they are alive, they could tell us what happened. But at this point in time, it is improbable that they are alive, to be honest with you.
Or, alternatively, if you could use your special key card to give us access to these level 5 blocked files on the Wayland Yutani computer that hides the information about portals. Or just any information in general for sciences.
Are you suggesting an expedition to go down into the reactor, just like these scientists did?
Well, yes, but we already
I was
know.
asking for access to the files.
He's asking for access to files, which I have absolutely no interest in right now. What we need to know is what's at the bottom of the reactor.
Portal.
You think there's something at the bottom?
Well, the other 2 went somewhere, and if they didn't go up, then there's only one direction to go. Down. Right?
He looks at the crazy scientist and hands over a key card that you know fits into every Wayland Yutani computer that would give you access to what you need. And he says, "Show me," and looks at the crazy kooky scientist in a silver suit.
He immediately looks to the doctor and like, oh shit. And he like slides it in and just starts typing. Like he didn't like, it's like a dog chasing a car. He's like, I didn't know I was going to get this far.
The file opens up immediately. Boom. Full access granted. This vessel, the file for it reads, unaccounted for. If found, report immediately to Colonial Marshal or Wayland Yutani representative. Fugitives on board. Looks to be that they have been marked as fugitives that have run away with high-profile Wayland Yutani goods.
Does it say
Most important,
when?
They've been missing for 10 years.
Fuck you, Doc. Now there's no portals.
Well, that's interesting.
All right,
Professor.
so that's a debunked theory.
Well, the upside is that now we can look for portals elsewhere when we figured out this whole thing. Right?
If his face could have heart eye emojis, it just happened. It's like, oh yeah, no, yeah. That's it. As soon as we get out of here, that's where we'll go.
You can see that
black
this
holes.
representative. Oh, he's got a name. I gotta give him a name. We got a name.
Okay, so
on.
what's happening is they stole a ship, right? We're full of like.
Okay, but then
They
they went
stole-
somewhere.
Yeah, they
maybe
stole-
even here
Get
or
back up. They stole a ship, right? And then it had Wayland Yutani stuff on it, and that's what they really care about. They don't care about these people. And this is a prison planet, Furiosa
Wayland
91,
Yutani
whatever.
cares for all its people.
Okay,
Of course
okay,
it does.
clip on. Anyway, So then they stole the ship and they left for prison planet because it's a prison planet and they were prisoners, fugitives, prisoners, same thing. And then they stole it and crashed here. But the problem is, right? How did they, if they crashed, the surface is like mostly water and ice. So how did they get to the core of the planet? Unless there's a massive gravity well, which is different than a portal and not the same thing as a roving black hole either. But what if there's a massive gravity pull and that's also maybe the gravity triggered and the line snapped in the elevator?
Professor
and
Barden.
Professor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do us all a favor,
Yeah,
Wayland
yeah.
Yutani included, and write your scientific findings into a file so that we can all access them.
Yeah, no, I'll publish it.
You know that this guy's name is not Clip-On. His name is, in fact, Doug Dimmadome.
God damn
I'm going
it.
with that because I love it so much.
God damn it.
It's happening. Actually, Doug was an NPC name I had
the
down.
Dimsdale Dimmadome.
Of the Dimsdale Dimmadomes.
Whoa.
It's a far lineage. It's a far lineage.
I quit the channel.
So Doug says, and doctor,
Yes.
you think it is wise and would in any way help these people? And he gestures across the way to like the real medical lab where other people are resting, trying to heal. He says, if you think it will help these people and help us get this all under control before Wayland Yutani arrives in a week's time, then I am on board. And he calls over the comms and he says, this is Doug Dimmadome. I am requesting all remaining soldiers, all remaining engineers, mechanics, scientists, and medics to meet suited to go down into the reactor in 45 minutes time.
Let him know there's a kid on board named Vince. He can get into
No.
tiny holes.
No.
Small
we
places.
are not enlisting a child
Get the
for
child.
an expedition like this. Stop it.
His parents are in there, and he's going to want to get into tiny crevices.
As much as I appreciate the possible accessibility of a child being down there with us, I don't think that a few people would appreciate it.
But, I mean, the people that won't appreciate it are dying down there, so I think maybe we should get
I
down
don't
there
think
and
this is
ask
up
his
for
parents.
discussion, seeing as how I'm basically leading this expedition now.
That's
Ben
completely
probably looks
inaccurate,
over
I'm a
to
scientist.
Vince and he's like, hey, kid, you got a chance.
I'll
You're maintenance now, right? You're Jake.
yes.
You're in like Flynn, kid.
I think either way I've been able to get a lot of places before. I'll be okay.
Right. Well, buck up, Tugboat. Let's go.
Oh, you're muted again, Dot.
I just said buck up tugboat. I said buck up tugboat and all of you suit up, each of you. What is left is basically 6 armed guards that meet you there. The 2 scientists that are left, which includes this professor and one other who is basically an intern. He has massive rimmed glasses and is freckle faced. Your 2
What's his name, Dot?
I don't know. I don't have a name. Chat, give me a name. I have names for
Timmy
our
Turner.
other team. Yeah.
We would leave like what basics behind, right?
Yeah, I would think that all of you would wear a suit. You would have a medic pack. The scientists may have some on the go type stuff. But here's the deal: Jake is going to have to fix the elevator. And as we meet up in this area, Jake, you don't really have. There aren't really a whole lot of engineers left. They all kind of died or just beat themselves into a bloody pulp. You're kind of the last man that knows really anything about the mechanics of this reactor. Chris P. Bacon. Chris is the name of this intern. He doesn't understand why his name is ironic. And
doesn't get it.
Yeah, Chris. And he goes, Professor Barden.
Yeah, kid.
Sir?
Yeah. Mhm.
I can't see through my mask. He keeps trying to wipe it. It's like fogging. My glasses are fogging up, Professor.
The trick is you gotta breathe less.
Okay.
Yeah.
You hear him kind of squeak as he turns his helmet off. And
What happening is you're breathing too many times per time. So if you breathe like 1 or 2 less times, it fogs up. Like breathe nice and slow.
You just have to
controlled
control
breaths. That's what I said. No, that's two.
You told him to breathe less, in which case he would deprive his
breathe less. You're
brain
breathing
of oxygen
You're
and
doing.
his out.
You're doing these big, like breathe little.
Doug
regular
says, "Stop speaking."
breaths.
He says, I can't concentrate with all the scientific bickering.
It's a science expedition, Clip-On.
And he points at Jake and he says, "You, engineer, we need that elevator fixed. Make it go up and down, please."
Excuse me.
Yes,
Clip-On.
yes, you and your tiny assistant.
That's Jake.
I can do it.
Oh, great, you
And-
got the kid. Hell yeah.
Are
I
we?
told you, he's great for
Jake's
small.
Are
gonna
we
walk
already-
over.
Yeah.
Jake's gonna walk over to the guy who's been complaining about his mask fogging up,
Yeah.
and he takes the mask and he just spits in it and
But
rubs his spit on the inside.
Professor Barton,
It's a trick. It's not gonna fog up anymore.
he puts it on. Hey,
Yeah,
it's not very sanitary, but it works.
yeah, it won't fog up anymore. It might smell like
He
Like a
starts
cheese
spitting on
sandwich,
his
but it-
glasses. Yeah.
Don't lick the glass.
Cheese sandwich.
uh,
Oh God, Bub.
but I promise it ain't gonna fog up anymore.
Don't lick the glass. You're fine.
And what was your name again? Why'd you call him Clip? What's your name?
I am Doug. I signed your paychecks.
Okay, well, Doug, I'm gonna need an instantaneous raise because I'm maintenance, and
You're not an
Maintenance-
engineer?
no, I'm
We're all
the
that's
guy that
left.
the engineers go to make sure this shit works.
Yes, he's really smart.
Hey, thanks, kid.
Yeah, Jake.
Trust that 10-year-old.
Fine. I'll negotiate a pay raise while you're the only engineer here. Engineer.
Yeah, head engineer, and he's gonna do the same.
Head engineer. You can
Yeah,
take his
I like
pay
that.
for a few weeks.
If-
Hand engineer, and he looks for a name tag. What's your name?
I looked at Vince.
What? Do you want me to?
He's the only person that I don't care. Sir, you, and he kind of pats you on the shoulder. You're our only hope. You have to go in there and
Oh, yeah.
fix that
Heard
elevator.
that before. All right. Keep your fucking panties in a bunch. Give me a minute. I'll be back.
I don't wear panties.
They never unbunch. I seen it. They just like a hole.
He
It's a
straightens his
wad.
tie.
Pardon, Jesus
It's like
Christ.
a wad of
Jesus.
the whole thing.
And once again, there's like a hand that covers Barton's mouth. It's
I'm
Bub's.
gonna pass Barton a bottle of nap relief because I bought 2 bottles. Like, it's for the stress, man. Seriously, like, go take a nap and a wank or something. Like, you're fucking stressing everyone out.
Oh God!
I'm already in the suit. It's too much. I get it. It's a.
Don't worry, I spit in your suit too. Just let it slide down. It'll help with the process. This is just fine.
Great. Thanks.
Now-
I appreciate it. I don't know what that does, but I'm here for it.
Vince, do you go with Jake?
Yes. As are we already inside the radioactive area?
You're
Have
not
we been
inside.
talking?
You're like on
Okay.
just where all the same activity
Outside the
happened.
door again?
You and Jake. Now there are no bodies. Sal
Mhm.
came behind and mopped it up. So there's no blood anymore or any of that. Jake and Vince, you're gonna have to go into the reactor and all
Yeah.
the way around the far side to where the elevator sits on like the
Got
12.
it.
We'll call that 12 o'clock basically.
Yeah.
You're coming in at 6 o'clock.
Can we tape his suit down so it doesn't like hinder his movement at all? That's like, I'm afraid that we're gonna put him in a suit and he's gonna try to climb up something and he's just gonna be like halfway up the suit. Like,
yeah.
It would have
can't read
had
It'll be-
His feet.
it would have had children's size ones.
I was about to say you would have had to have had one, or they would not have let you come
Yeah.
in like
Okay.
into this. So I would
Probably just
say
to go find
you
it.
Yeah.
had to go find it earlier, but you suited because you had 45 minutes to suit up basically.
all right, perfect.
So you got his fitted suit.
Mhm.
Perfect. Okay. Then yeah.
As we go to the door to
Mhm.
open it, assuming that they had closed the radioactive door again,
They did.
Vince kind of whispers, "Do you want other people to know your name is Ben?"
I don't think they care. All
Right,
they
I
care
mean-
about is if it works. My name
So
could
what-
be fuck all. It doesn't matter.
Okay. What do you want me to? Should I call you Ben or should I still call you Jake in front of the others?
Does it matter to you?
It does. I want to call you Ben.
Thanks, kid. Yeah, Ben works.
You're welcome.
It's just your name. And Jake goes to Vince starts to go try to open the door himself and
Yeah.
see if he can wedge it open.
You can't. They welded it shut, but they're actively like trying it. You're like, "Ew," you're like pulling on it, and it definitely does it. And it takes Jake's extra hand as that weld becomes liquid metal once more to slide and pull open. And the two of you enter, and you're able to walk all the way around to the other side where this elevator is. This is an enclosed elevator, like an enclosed airtight space. But it is severely broken. Right now, the actual container itself, the elevator proper, is at the bottom, not at the top. But the pulley system that makes this function, or we could even say the like magnetized or hydraulic system, seems to be broken. And Jake's going to need to do a little fixer-upper on it to get it working again.
Well,
Should I use this? And Vince lifts up the heavy, big bolt gun thing.
not yet. Not
Okay,
yet.
I'll hold on to it.
This don't
What do you
seem
want
so
me to
bad.
do?
Well, just when I tell you to push, just push.
Okay.
We basically got to unwinch this thing. What does it look like has happened to this? Is there something that I can tell immediately?
That's a good question. Why don't you roll an observation?
Sure.
You'll be able. There's some things your eyes will just see, but to get extra bits, we'll say your wits observation.
Can Vince also make an observation?
Of course you can. Yeah.
Cool.
Of course you can. Okay. No successes
I'm
there.
glad
That's
I
all right.
asked.
That's all right.
Let's see. Do-do-do.
Okay. Just the one.
Nice.
The one.
Okay. So you're like pushing. All of the mechanisms seem to be in place, at least from what you can tell. Right away, Jake doesn't see anything, but Vince, you see something. You see farther down, it's rather dark, that a piece of debris, of shrapnel of some kind, has kind of like jammed its way into the actual tunnel that this elevator goes like up and down, which is not only going to stop it if it tries to come up, but it seems to be like snagging or pushing against the pulley system, allowing it not to work. So you can see it like wedged in way down there.
How far down?
25, 30 feet maybe?
Okay. And is there any, before Vince says anything, is there any ladder in the elevator shaft itself, or do we think the only feasible way to climb down would be to grab onto the pulley
Most
ropes?
elevator shafts will have a ladder. I would say that there are probably two, like the one they crawled out of at 6 o'clock, right?
Mhm.
And then the one at 12 o'clock that's attached to this
Okay.
elevator shaft. I'll totally give you that. So there is a
Cool.
ladder down, though
All right,
there is
so-
very little light.
Yeah. All right. So Vince sees that and he says, I think it's that. I think it's stuck. Whatever that weird metal piece is. And he points down at it.
We could probably go down and get that, but
I
rather
think
not.
The scientist would probably want to do it. He seems kind of willing to do things.
Barton?
Yeah. I'd think that he'd think it would be fun. I don't want to do it because I'm kind of afraid of heights.
Yeah,
to
that's
be honest.
okay. Let me just what like it's you said it's just debris, right?
Yeah, it seems to be like a large chunk of metal that has like pierced the side of the wall, and it's causing tension on like the pulley rig itself.
Okay.
The cable could even like snap if too much tension is put on it.
Could I just shoot it out with the Watatsumi?
Oh, interesting.
It's an arm, like it's designed
Yeah.
as armor piercing, so it's
As
supposed
armor
to sure do
piercing,
that
you
stuff.
could sure give it a try. Let's see how well you do. And you know what? I haven't passed out a lot of stress this game because technically we've not hit any of the check boxes.
Yeah.
But you all have watched human beings beat each other. You've not found your parents yet. So
stressful at all.
everybody take at least one stress die.
Okay.
What does that mean for them, chat? Well, when things happen in game that cause them to make to do extreme stuff, or to see things that normally they would not see, they take stress, which adds to their pool in both a positive and a negative way at the same time. And don't forget, you can always push to re-roll something and take another stress. If the roll
Okay.
doesn't turn out in the way you wanted it to, you can push and re-roll the dice of failures.
Oh my
So
God,
a
it's like
one.
a one.
It's okay. A one's enough. You look this up and down. You need to get some light on it. Maybe even have the kid hold like one of those
Yeah.
big yellow flashlights down to it so you can really, really see it. You got to hit this just right, Jake. And you line it up and you do. You like ping it. And there's a moment where it like knocks it this way and the metal begins to like, and it falls and it clatters, hitting every side all the way down this tunnel. This metal plate makes a ton of noise. And then immediately, the elevator kicks on, and the mechanism that was like before starts pulling up. The elevator begins to rise from the bottom automatically, as if somebody has already pressed that button 100 times.
That was easy. What other things do you know how to do?
Everything's just designed to work the way that it's supposed to, kid. Sometimes you just got to find out what the old cog is broken on. You know what's stopping it from operating.
And when you say stopping it from operating, that metal plate hits the very bottom. A loud metal sound rings out, and then a rumbling from inside of the reactor itself kind of begins to like, and there's like, you can feel it, the tug and rumble, the plating under your feet that you're currently standing on begins to judder. All of you outside the door feel the same thing. The reactor is, well, reacting and unstable. Professor, you probably see the HUD deck like spike. The reactor like kicks on, or something happens, or it's like a power surge of some kind, which is not good at all.
I think whatever noises the like spectrometer makes that's detecting is and then covers it. We got a time limit, Doctor.
What do you mean?
We gotta go.
Understood.
Yeah, the reactor's not looking very, very stable.
Like I'm guessing, like 12 hours, 15.
Yep, that seems about right.
it?
Maybe, unless you get down there and actually reboot the reactor manually, is probably what's going on. It's like you have to release pressure. There's like a stack that releases out into the atmosphere at the surface, and it hasn't been released in 2 weeks, which is bad news bears. But this rumbling doesn't end there. Jake, Vince, steam begins to kind of seep out of some crevices before, as if something might have turned on with this elevator mechanism moving, who knows. And the rumbling continues. And bolts begin shooting out of the wall with pressure. Tink, 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 in opposite directions. It's like a boiler that's beginning to build. And you hear a explosion. You see it, just the two of you can, leaning over the side, down in the bottom.
I looked at Vince. Wasn't me. I grab him and start walking immediately
I
back.
think it
You
was
grab him and you start walking. Things are like pew, pew, pinging out. The explosion, on the other hand, you hear the emergency emergency voice kick on in the entire facility. Emergency, emergency. Hull breach. Hull breach. Across the main bridge. Hull breach. Something has shot off the bottom of this reactor pier when it kind of explode and sent it shooting through the water. If anybody turns on the camera to the main bridge, it is currently cut off. It is filling with water. There's a massive leak. You can see where like a piece of metal shot through the glass and has burst it wide open.
Like I'm just saying, I
That
bet
is
you
to
wish it was
say-
a portal now, huh?
That we've been cut off, like the reactor that the people died in,
Is now
and
that
the rest
that bridge
of the
is now
colony.
filling with water.
Great.
Wait, are
I
we
would
all
say the bridge
separated
has-
from each other?
No, you're all on the reactor side, but you are
Okay,
separated from
okay.
the rest of the colony at the moment. I would say that the bridge is not inaccessible, and you watch it, like, the heavy doors come down. This facility is built in case there is a leak, right? So it
Right.
blocks it off. The second door blocks it off. The bridge still intact, though there is a big hole in it that was, like, burst through it from this piece of debris that now kind of sits jutted into the side of it. Jake, as you and Vince exit and kind of maybe close that door behind you, there is again a secondary explosion. Things seem to settle after that. I say explosion, it's more like a rumble, something small pops, and it seems that whatever happened to the reactor is settling down at this point. The steam in the room clears, and the elevator makes it to the top.
Hey, Jake and Jake. That's weird. How'd
How's the elevator?
that go down there?
Yeah.
It's
It's fixed.
yeah, it is.
Great.
Up and down.
Great.
Mhm.
We should
So
probably go.
you're the I just want to make sure that I heard this right. Clip on. You're the chief engineer, right? And you're the assistant to the chief engineer.
He's now being paid to be the chief engineer,
Right.
right?
Is that correct? Jake and Jake.
Yeah.
Yep.
Great. Then I have the unfortunate news with hyperventilating clip on over here doing whatever his heavy breathing exercise is to let you know that 13 hours. We have 13 hours. Oh, yeah, you can't run anymore, so it's fine. 13 hours before the reactor overloads, and we
we all die.
melt. We melt with the
all
liquid
die.
insides. So,
Just-
as the chief engineer, I need you to fix the reactor because that's gonna kill everyone.
I don't mean to be the bearer of bad news, but we have had well, and he kind of turns a HUD screen to the both of you so you can see the damage that has been done to the bridge. Currently, we are incapable of
Whoa.
accessing the colony, or the rest of them, anyways.
Yeah. So
What happened?
there's an explosion.
Whatever happened down there in the reactor, there was some debris. Unexpected.
Well, we
think
don't know
that
that.
we need to focus on the fact that we're about to have a reactor meltdown in less than 13 hours, and we need to get down there.
That's true.
So
Kind of
rather than
vibes.
panicking, we should all assemble our equipment,
Yeah.
take a deep breath,
Yep.
and push forward.
It's gonna be okay. Clip on.
Doug. My name is Doug. Doug.
Doug.
It's Doug.
Clip
It's
on.
gonna be okay.
It's a nickname. It's a term of
Yeah, Vince.
endearment.
Vince like pats the guy on the shoulder
There you go. Okay.
or on the arm rather.
Vince, I'm not so sure.
What?
This might be a foobar situation.
It's okay. This is probably the most important thing that I've done, and my parents are still down there. I think I have nowhere else to go, so let's do it.
Yeah.
None
You're
of
not
us
right.
have anywhere else to go, to be clear.
Well, look, I'm gonna fix it, or I'm gonna at least try to. Not because I'm
man.
getting paid
Good
enough,
man.
but because
up.
because Vince wants to find his mom and his dad, and that's good enough for me.
For what
Right.
it's shut up. For what it's worth, Jake, Vince, Jake, whatever. It doesn't.
His name is Ben.
Ben, Jake, Vince, Jake. Regardless, the doctor found out that there's a good chance that there's like a pocket of not radioactive death down there. So
Let's
there's
go.
a chance that your parents could be in the bubble and they could be fine.
Okay, let's go. The elevator's working. I'm gonna go over there. I don't know why
We're
you guys
gonna
are just
all go
standing
together.
around.
Yeah.
I mean, let's get our gear together.
It's a whole
Let's
thing.
get the team
Okay.
together
Okay.
and get to the elevator.
Yeah.
I have a camera car now, in case we need it.
That could actually be very helpful.
Cool.
You have the camera car like
Could've
under
been
your
great.
hand.
Mhm.
This is a futuristic car. It's not like totally made from Radio Shack. So I imagine it can do things like crawl down surfaces or up surfaces and things
Oh,
like
cool.
that. So that's kind of cool. It gives it like some more functionality, if that
Cool.
makes sense, than just like a
Yeah.
your basic level RCA. All of you load into a very tight elevator. I would say that Doug probably leaves behind at least 2 guards up here, right? And on our way over, he tells him, he's like, if we don't come back up, you shoot anything that comes through here. Do you understand? And the 2 soldiers are like, but sir, and he goes, I'm serious. He kind of points his finger.
Do we hear
Walks
him say
off.
that?
Yeah.
You might. He says, if anything other than all of you come back up to shoot it.
Oh. Hmm.
Barden pulls out his his camcorder, and you hear, and he hits play, and it says, "Wayland Yutani loves all of its employees." Wayland Yutani loves all of its, and it's in his
And
voice.
that's why we're going down to save them. Isn't that right, son? And he kind of puts a non-charismatic hand on Vince's shoulder. He
Vince
says,
kind
come
of
on.
pulls back from
Yeah.
him.
Yeah, he's fine. He straightens his tie and he says, come on. I'm not scared. We have Wayland Yutani employees to save.
It's
and
not
he
even a
leads the
real
way.
tie.
It is a real tie. It is not a clip-on.
It's a clip-on.
He screams and tightens it even tighter around his neck as if for some reason that makes him feel better. And all of you load onto. You've got 4 soldiers with you, or like 4 commando types that have been stationed here to keep the peace. All of you, and a Wayland Yutani representative, and an intern. And we watch as I sure Jake hits a big red button, and it begins to descend down into darkness. The elevator releases, and there's a little bit of a jump. And as all of you descend, you begin to see the amount of damage that has been done here. It's quite a bit. There's a lot of burn marks. There's a lot of stuff that's not working. Jake, you would notice things like sparking, right? This whole facility is really botched. And it's going to take a long time and a lot of money and supplies to fix things that's just not here right now. And you can see the Wayland Yutani representative making notes of all of this, maybe even recording it or something. And
Yeah.
as you descend... Oh, yeah, go ahead.
What do you mean by that? If anything else other than us come up.
I just meant, you know,
Hey, shh. I need you to think about that for a minute. Okay. Because, like, you see it's vented right there, right? Like, it's still 3 miles down. And I don't actually think you're going to give me that pay increase. Because you still didn't ever okay me getting back in touch with my family. So, like, I could just elbow you out and drop you 3 miles. So what the fuck else is going to be coming up here?
I'm just saying, based on, you know, the doctor's recommendation and our scientists, they found traces of things from, you know, humans from another planet. And we don't know if they mean good or bad, and I have to protect people.
Yeah. All right.
You're whispering in a 6 foot by 6 foot box.
I tried, okay?
Shut up, Clip-On.
Far too
That's not accurate. There, Jacob Ben, whatever the fuck.
God damn it! My name is Ben.
Oh,
It's Ben.
great. Thank you. I appreciate that for telling Ben. What I'm saying is, we found them, the people from another planet, but they're dead. So, they're not coming back up.
We don't actually. No, that is misinformation. The people are from here. They were wearing equipment from somebody else. That's what we need to find out.
When you wear someone else's clothes, usually that person's probably dead.
Not necessarily. They could have left the equipment behind. It could have come in
to run through the radioactive underground in the nude.
Hey, Barden, you're a rock guy, right? Like,
yeah,
you know,
I like rocks. It's my
okay, so like when he said to the guards up there, if anything else comes up and it's not us to shoot it,
yeah.
Don't you think it would have been specifically, you know, keen to say if anyone else, not anything else?
Well, so what I'm thinking is,
the
it's
rock sense telling you
definitely rocks don't animate. So, people or other.
What's that category's real loose. I don't like it.
Yeah.
I hope you get really used to watch that soon. You're probably going to use it much sooner than you think.
He goes, well, I'm just saying, as the representative of Wayland Yutani, it is my responsibility to use the training that I have had to assure all of your safety. So as we descend into this planet, I assure all of you that we will be making decisions that will keep you and everybody at the surface of the water safe. He says, as the elevator dings.
The choice of words again. I don't like this. This ain't fucking adding up. I don't like it.
I'm with Jake. Ben, I'm with Ben. I have one question before we step out into, I don't know. If you die, just hypothetically, if it happens, right? Like if it's a whole thing, who's in charge of the guys with guns when you die? Not the intern.
Well, they have a commander, of course.
Yeah, but if you're here telling them what to do, and then you're dead, and you're not here telling what to do.
I'm not their commander. There's a pipsqueak, probably 20-year-old man goes, I'm their commander.
Great, so if he dies, who do you listen to?
The next person in line, and I goes, that's me. He goes, and then that's me, and that's me.
If he dies, the guy who signs your paychecks.
Why does this matter?
Because I feel like he's the first one to die.
We're all going to die in less than 13 hours. So why does it matter who's in charge at this point?
I don't know, because they got guns and I have a
have
Geiger
a
counter.
Geiger counter?
I have a Geiger counter and a hat, so...
She's going to go be the first one out.
You hit the button and the doors open.
Really glad I brought all my equipment for this.
Yeah. You see the reactor proper, where it actually touches... most of you have never been down here before. You've never needed to. It's a little drippy. Feels like a little bit like a cave, in just like its level of moisture. But the radioactive makes it hot and damp. Lights are going off, yellows and reds. This far down, it's very hard to see, and you can tell that it is bent. Like there's a massive, like, jagged part where the actual mechanism that mines hit something, and as it retreated, it's like a bendy straw. It like bent it, whatever it hit, and you can see in the hole what it was, what it hit. A spaceship, a very large one. Definitely standard issue towing rig of some kind. All of you even look up, and you can see where that ship burrowed through the icy like core of this planet and came crashing through the water and smashed into this hard rock down here. And it looks like the mining rig found it completely accidentally.
Well, that explains a lot of things, don't you think?
What's a ship doing down here?
If I'm correct in my previous assumptions, then this is the same ship that they got the other equipment from.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Hey, Ben.
Yeah.
Mind if I whisper in a 6-foot area?
Yeah.
So, just to be clear, the ship is stolen by criminals from a prison planet that went halfway around the galaxy and somehow crash landed here, underwater, right? And then froze up.
There's no way that they would have survived down here for 10 years, so they're probably dead. And I assume if
10
we went
years
inside,
ago.
we'd find corpses of people that were here from 10 years ago.
And
Let's not pretend for a minute. That rig,
Yeah.
y'all got here on a rig just like it. I'm guessing because that's the kind of rig that I got here on. They
Sure.
probably have the cold chamber, right? They seal us up
You
so.
think they're in cryo?
I mean, if they lived here for 10 years, what better place to live in than cryo?
Who would unfreeze them?
Maybe it was timed.
Maybe.
Or maybe,
Assuming that everything functioned for them this entire time.
or maybe the engineers found it.
Also, for whatever it's worth, the computer said there was like not like a bounty, but like it was wanted, right, on the ship because it's full of
Fugitives.
very important Weyland-Yutani gear, is what it said.
Oh, at this, Doug pipes up, clicks on a little pin flashlight. Then it sounds to me like we need to go investigate.
After you, Clip-On, as you head out there with all your bravery and your pen
And
light.
he steps forward. You can see that the hull of the ship, the actual door itself, has been crushed closed, and the team before you that came down here has already cut a hole in the ship. And as you step in, all of you maybe to look, you see the cryo chamber. There are 4 sleeping individuals, 4 large crates, like cargo crates, I guess you could say, roughly about 7 foot long, about 4 foot wide. They're like stacked in the back corner of this room. And there are 2 additional cryopods, and in each one of them, one on the left and one on the right, are Vince's parents. And that is where we end tonight's episode. Because we have to go yes. So I did not use all the corruption bars because, Lord,
There was 20 of them.
there were 20 of them. So I used 1 corruption bar apiece to kill off all the people that came up from the bottom. They were supposed to be alive, but I decided, screw it, they can all just die. So that killed off a bunch of information that the crew could have gotten from like first-hand accounts.
Great.
So I killed off 10 of them. The most people, NPCs, I think I've killed in a long time on this channel, Mike.
Yeah.
And
Jesus.
let's see, what else did I use it for? I used it to infect our lovely space boy, our space soldier, who is now dying of radiation poisoning.
Yep.
Soup insides.
Soup insides. I used one to make sure the elevator was not functioning, so that's 12, and the 13th one was for the final explosion that knocked out the bridge, which wasn't supposed to happen till next time, but we put it this time anyways.
Okay.
Oh god.
I was right about the pockets, but they were literal pockets, which I wasn't intending, but
Fantastic. That being said, this was episode 1 of Awakening. This is our 6-part Alien series. First of all, chat, thank you so much. This was bananas. You guys are out of control.
Yep.
That being said, let's go around, do our introductions so that we can do our after show and talk about how we feel about what the hell just happened. We'll start with our newest people here. We'll start with Zach. Who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? And what are you up to?
Oh God, this session.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm Zach though, not Vince, not Jake, but Zach. I'm not from State Farm. I'm on the internet and on Twitch and all sorts of places, including twitch.tv/Zach Clay, where I usually partake in games kind of like this, RPGs, things of that like. You can find me on Twitter as @MiddayClay. And aside from that, I'm just excited to figure out what's going on with my parents and possibly get eaten by a alien in the process, but who knows?
I mean, hopefully,
This
right?
was really fun.
With that, Bub, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? And what are you up to?
Hey guys, I'm Bub. I'm doing Bub things all over the internet. You can find me as the Bubbernaut on Twitch. On Twitter, you can pop over to the Discord at discord.gg/Bub. We've got lots of community stuff always going on. I'll be here every Thursday for the next 5 or 6, I believe. Who knows how much longer that'll go. I've been trying to get over here for a long time. I know Mike is well aware of that for years at this point. But we're finally here and we're doing it. Right now on stream, I am prepping for some new tabletop stuff. Still doing things over at Roll For It with VTM. Shackled City's about to turn over 200 live episodes, which is nuts. I'm playing Baldur's Gate 3. I'll actually be doing this after the after show. So you guys can come find me over at twitch.tv/thebubbernaut.
Hell freaking yeah. Returning this season, again, Meta, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? What are you up to?
Hi, I'm Metamancer, or Meta, as people call me. I am mostly on Twitter. I do a lot of stuff there. Really, I don't want to get into it. I just do stuff. I make things, and sometimes I take photos of them. And I'm doing roleplay. Roleplay is like my big hobby, and I love it. I'm super excited. I love horror, so this is like my sweet spot right now. Is a perfect way to end the year with RP for sure.
Hell freaking yeah. And the wonderful Game Mother, one of our resident GMs here. Dot,
Game Mother.
who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? And what are you up to?
I am your resident game mother, also known as Dot, Little Red Dot, and all the places you can find me there. I play a lot of RPGs with Bub. I managed to finally drag him over here to play with me, to actually let me GM for a while. Maybe one day he'll drag me over and he'll GM for me. Yeah, you can find me in a lot of places doing a lot of things. I've got a big announcement, hopefully coming here soon, so check my social for that. But, you know, podcasting, vampiring.
Completely forgot about the podcast, man.
Yeah, Bob and I do a
place.
podcast together called Stitch of Fate. Our
check it
lovely nomadic edits it. It's an incredible little project we got going on right now. So if you like VTM and you need bite-sized chunks of TTRPGs, the podcast is about an hour each session. So it's a nice little digestible podcast for you. And then other than that, just check me out doing the things. I'm here through the month of October every Thursday. You know.
Yeah. Specifically, mark your calendars for 23rd of October.
Oh, yeah.
That is the Tamir one-shot for Void.
Yeah.
So mark your calendars for that.
Yeah, I'm so excited for that.
I know, right? That's it from us. Thank you all for being here. Thank you so much. We're going to go film our after show. If you guys want access to the after show and the best way to support the channel, check us out on Patreon. In the meantime, join us over on the Discord, chat about this game, chat about all the games, and we will see you guys next week. So from all of us to you guys, bye-bye.
Bye, guys.